All right. Well, I want to demonstrate this ED301 project that I was unable to do last time because I had a problem at the power in my virtual machine, which I've now fixed. And so after you've installed Visual Studio on your Windows machine, then you can make this PWD program, which is the same one we've seen before. And one thing that is not obvious is that once you've installed Visual Studio, if you want to use the command line tools, you have to go here and open a developer command prompt, which will have this different title up here. And then you can move to wherever you're working. I'm working in a folder called 127. And I've already made some files in here. And the one we need right now is pwd.cpp. So if you look at that, this is the same thing we've seen before. It reads a password into a string variable with only room for 10. And then it does some calculations and comes back. So what we want to do in this one is it's been compiled with the default switches here. And then I have another version called PWDN that I've compiled without stack protection. So you see here, PWD is 211,000, PWDN is 209,000. So it's a little bit smaller. And they both work the same way, but the thing we want to see here is how they look in IDA Pro. I've got IDA Pro here. And I just have to open PWD and accept all the default settings for its disassembly. It takes it a few seconds to process it. And then it shows me the code here. And I think I could use strings, but I don't even think I need to in this case. Maybe I do. I could probably scroll around and find it. I guess I'll use the strings. This is probably a good thing to practice anyway. View, open subview, strings. And now here you see enter password. So if I double click that, I will get to the part of the code that stores that. Now this is in the R data section where it stores string variables. Here's enter password and fail and win. And over here in the data xref is the address of the code that uses that. If I hover over it, you can see it there in a little yellow box. And if I double click it, then I see the code. And the point here is, here's the prompt printed enter password, and here it's going to call some routine that will read the password from the user. But this is what I came here for. It puts a security cookie on the stack before that. And that's the function prologue, which will prevent the kind of Stack Overflow we've been doing. All right, that's all I wanted to see. And if you want to look at PWDN, you can look at that one. And I don't save the old database. Click OK and accept the default conditions for disassembly. And now I repeat the same process to find the code, view, open subviews, strings. And then I double click on one of the readable strings. So I'll get to the code that actually does user IO. And now I've found the stored data. And I go to the data xref section and double click here to get back to the code. And here you see, it of course does the same thing. This is from exactly the same C source code, enters the password and then reads something, but it does not have a stack cookie anymore, which is why the code is smaller and why the kind of buffer overflows we've been using will work here. So I'm going to close that one, not save the database, and say OK. All right.